podcast excellence since 2005. This is the King of Podcasts radio network, kingofpodcasts.com.
As the road to WrestleMania begins with the Royal Rumble, Triple H decides we're going to stick with Vince's plan.
Woo! Hey, this is the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And believe it or not, whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it, because you have to listen to Wrestling is Real. It is the best thing going today. Woo!
The worldwide leader of podcasting excellence, the King of Podcasts Radio Network proudly presents The Wrestling is Real podcast, because wrestling needs us.
King of Podcasts here. Let's go ahead and recap the Royal Rumble, which happened tonight, Indianapolis, Indiana. And let me just drop this music down before I make one clear point. What I got to tell you is this. Triple H couldn't pull the trigger on the talent he's relying behind for WrestleMania. And Triple H, there's no question in my mind right now, he cannot book any better than Vince McMahon did. It's just the fact. What we're seeing behind the scenes now is when WrestleMania season's here, all that time squandered, leading up to the Netflix era, leading up to NXT and the focus on that on CW and everything else. That main roster, it lacks upcoming talent that they can rely on and that they trust to push forward into the spotlight. They're not going to do it. They're not. They're going to stick with tried and true stars that Vince McMahon made. Triple H, has he built one star yet? In his run in the last, his SummerSlam 22? Who has he truly built out standalone as his own star that has bona fide, okay, he's the one that did it? I mean, I guess you could say Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley was already kind of there before Vince was shoved out. Okay, but at least if you want to start comparing, when people talk about booking, okay, well, let's talk about stars that are being developed. I can tell you that at least in AEW, they at least got one guy I can mention over there, MJF. At least that's a star that was made. And by the way, very tough to make stars in this current realm. If anybody's been doing it at all, it's TNA. They made Josh Alexander. They made Jordan Grace. They're bona fide stars. And they do a good job of developing and building up stars, even from the young, but they also might have so much young talent that they have when they come up as well. But you still look and say, okay, but they still had young stars they're building up. But these two major companies really can't do that. They struggle with that. But anyway, the Royal Rumble tonight, 4 matches, only a couple things you need to really be cognizant of that actually happened tonight. Charlotte Flair out of nowhere. She's been gone because of an ACL injury, right? 2 years removed. She's back now and right back into the main event picture. Roxanne Perez lasts most of the entire match. I think she was number 2 as the entrance coming into the match. And she's eliminated last. And Charlotte Flair comes out. And now she's going to probably take on... is it going to be Tiffany Stratton, I guess? I mean, probably. I don't think that's the match I'd want. I think her and Rhea Ripley would be better off because I think I want those two together again going at it. That's just me. But to trust Charlotte Flair to be that WrestleMania star, yeah, I get it. Why not? We want to compare it to last year's WrestleMania. When you looked at what matches they had for that, the women's world title last year was Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, right? And Bayley and Io Sky for the women's title last year. Now we're changing things up. So we do definitely know most likely Tiffany Stratton will probably be going into WrestleMania as the women's champion. So this is your one young star right now that you have. Okay, Triple H, I'll give you Tiffany Stratton. I will give you her. But who else? We're kind of stuck in a spot here. So I'm just trying to figure out. Now, what is interesting to kind of follow along about people that they bring on board to be a part of things. Logan Paul's influence here is important as well. Even though it was the last entrance into the match, he had his deal with his connection with IShowSpeed. We got quite a bit of notice from him tonight. Probably the most memorable moment of this night, if you go ahead and go back to Royal Rumble 10 years from now, I'm going to remember one thing. IShowSpeed coming into the match, taking the place of Akira Tozawa and getting rolled. First off, speared stiff by Braun Breaker, thrown out to Otis, and then Otis throws him into the announce table. I mean, that was enjoyable. I really enjoyed that part. That was definitely authentic and different and unexpected. Otherwise, there were a lot of other things that were very predictable tonight. Very predictable. But nevertheless. So into the match itself for the women's Royal Rumble match. All right. Experience trumps hype. Now, into the match, I'm looking. Okay. You have the NXT stars they brought in, right? Giulia, Stephanie Vaquer, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, or to me, Jada Parker, and I forget who else I was thinking about from NXT that was brought into the mix. Not Jackson. She wasn't in there, right? I don't think so. No, it was just Roxanne Perez, Lash Legend, and then, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. But think of the stars they had actually in this match that I just didn't care about because they just didn't get any kind of response. Like, if you're looking through the match, they put an Io Sky and Liv Morgan to start off, then Roxanne Perez to kind of mix things up. Lyra Valkyria, nothing. And they just can go down the line of who they have. Bianca Belair gets a pop. Naomi gets a pop. Jordan Grace gets a pop. In there at 19, doesn't stay around for long. Let's make that clear as well. Then you get Alexa Bliss, who is back. I don't understand why she's back in the same gimmick with the doll. It's like the attachment to the Wyatt Six, but she's not part of the Wyatt Six. So why is she coming back out in the same setup as before? If you're going to bring her back, why are we just going to bring her back? I mean, we couldn't even get any explanation for that. So, like, bringing her in here, I don't know what she's going to do and how she's going to be used. Because she's not going to be the main focus now. I mean, her focus is in the same reign as the other women that have been around for a long time when it comes to Bayley or when it comes to, I mean, Charlotte Flair right now is at that spot because they look at her as, you know, she's main event material still. But I look at who else they had that really got a response. Trish Stratus obviously gets a response. Nikki Bella at number 30 got a huge response. And you know what distinguishes them? That some of them actually have something you notice about them in terms of their entrance, their look, the larger-than-life mystique that they actually have. Meanwhile, some of these other stars that are the whole gamut of what Shawn and Triple H, Shawn Michaels Triple H are doing right now over in NXT, and they are not getting much of a difference. I mean, you were hoping that it would be some difference, but like there wasn't. Not much of a pop, not much of an interest in the match altogether. And as we saw, by the end of the match, it's Charlotte Flair, Roxanne Perez, and there you go, done. So, Giulia and Vaquer, with all the pomp and circumstance you can give them as the big stars they were coming in, with Vaquer coming out of AAA in Chile, right? And then Giulia coming in from Stardom. What? I mean, no one in this major crowd here cares. And that is a testament to what's going on right now with the company. If you wanted to get 70,000 people in Lucas Oil Stadium, they are not part of the toxic, juvenile, delusional wrestling fandom there is online. That crowd at Royal Rumble does not represent what the online social media community is. The dirt sheets, all those podcasters out there, they are not represented. Again, they are the vocal minority, but they get so much of an ear into the company right now these days. And I'm sure many of them were just super pissed off to see Charlotte Flair go and win tonight. And I was like, well, I'm laughing when I saw that. Listen, I got no problem with Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is consistent. She has always been very good, but she's been fragile the last couple of years, but she's still going to do very well. If you let her just play serious and just let her go out there and give her a good opponent. And don't go ahead and go crazy on promos. Well, the promos are going to be different because I think they're not going to have her scripted so much. Obviously, Triple H kind of lets them kind of flow out there with talking points. So maybe Charlotte Flair will do just fine without any kind of contriving of what she's supposed to be saying. And they maybe just give her something worthwhile to go work off of, you know? Now, other than that, they made Nia Jax the big eliminator where there were so many different stars. Like, it really, they had so many people in there at one time throughout the whole match until Nia Jax cleared house. But that's all there was about that match. The Royal Rumble matches themselves, the women's match, what was it? 60 minutes. So it was 70 minutes. 80 minutes for the men's Royal Rumble match. That's long. Very long. And a lot of time between matches. We're getting 4 matches on the card for a Royal Rumble. It's amazing. 14 minutes for a 2 out of 3 falls match. This could have been on SmackDown. We didn't need DIY and Motor City Machine Guns in this tag team title match on this show. It didn't fit. It's fine. It's a buffer match. It's obviously a buffer match. I don't know how these guys really feel like if this is actually like the bathroom break or like this is the time to go to concessions for 15 minutes. But I guarantee you people probably did that. It was whatever. It was, you know, they put the match together. It was interesting how Ciampa and Gargano did the whole deal of there wasn't a tag, but then the legal man did hit, which was like Ciampa that was able to get the first fall. And then everything turned around. Motor City Machine Guns get their finisher, second fall. So they go tied. And then the Street Profits to come out to interfere. Okay, hot potato title, right? Because it was Motor City Machine Guns that won the belts off of DIY. Then it swaps back on a heel turn from DIY. Street Profits was pissed off because they want to have the match that they should have had, a title match against the Machine Guns. So they did this here, and now DIY comes away and retains. Waste. Could have put that on SmackDown. You got a 3-hour show there. Why don't you go and fill in that spot? Especially when they like to do that like last year. Remember how many times they had something on SmackDown leading up to the pay-per-view where they had a significant match that probably wouldn't have made the card. But they chose this here. I would have preferred Gunther appearing on this show tonight with a world title match. I know you just put him on Saturday Night's Main Event, but I would have liked to see him here and have a title match. That would have been a better idea than putting this on the card. I don't know who you would have put up, but it could have been somebody. Then we get the Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and the ladder match. All I can say is this. The lead up to this match, I go back to Cody's previous matches leading up to this. Now keep this in mind. When we're going through and we are trying to talk about the 7 televised title defenses that Cody Rhodes has had coming into tonight. Okay, it was his 8th title defense, 300 days as champion. And let's not forget how things worked out. So after he wins the title at WrestleMania 40 over Roman Reigns, he had the couple of matches with AJ Styles. Then he had Logan Paul. Then he had AJ Styles again, remember? And then Sol Sikoa, SummerSlam. And then we get to the whole Kevin Owens thing. Going back to Bash in Berlin. And how they started that thing was, well, you deserve a title shot, Kevin. And then this construed shit, which I hated horribly. It was Cody asked for this. He got himself into this mess. Then this deal going on with Cody partnering up with the Bloodline. And there is the justified reason, the logical reason why Kevin Owens should be upset. They put that in at Bad Blood. And then we get to this, and then we go, okay, here's Survivor Series, here's Bad Blood, and now Kevin Owens is pissed. The actual feud begins. Kevin Owens turns on Cody, and then we finally get these guys facing each other. And then Cody and Kevin took on each other Saturday Night's Main Event a month ago, and Cody won. But they had the pseudo finish where, Kevin got screwed out of the win, so you get the rematch here. And they also did the deal where the post-match thing that we all didn't get to see on TV unless you watched online of Kevin Owens beating down Cody Rhodes and taking the winged eagle to belt after he goes out. The whole setup to this feud, and here tonight, this is the end of the feud. I mean, the ladder match was done. And by the way, the crowd, Indianapolis, stop it with the "we want tables" chants, okay? This is a fucking ladder match. Why are you all caught up on tables? I know it's so easy for you to go and get it caught up on, but multiple times asking for tables. Get the fuck out of here, huh? Tables. You guys want a TLC match? Like, come on. If it's a ladder match, let it be a ladder match. Oh my goodness, man. You guys just, you think you're ECW fans for the 2000s, early in the 90s? No, you're not. Stop it. It was a very good match. And Kevin Owens got pummeled, cracking into that ladder at the end of the match, and Cody getting the win. And Sami Zayn also being involved, because he has to be involved. So does this write off Kevin Owens for a while? I mean, he should. I mean, he can't be coming back right away. He can't be coming in time for, like, say, like Elimination Chamber. I can't expect that. So what do you expect him to do anyway in the meantime to get up to here? Because this should be a match where he got beat up so much he got taken out. And Cody's now back on top. And now we can just see what happens to him when it comes to whoever wins Elimination Chamber. Most likely that is who you're going to find Cody going up against anyways. Because I imagine that's going to be a contenders match, Elimination Chamber, for the men. Because now that Jey Uso won, pretty well set, it's probably going to be Gunther that's going to go after. It's going to be the opponent for Jey Uso. He gets a chance to get another rematch at Gunther, and I guess he wins the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. I guess he gets that moment. All right. I guess that's fine. We'll get into the Royal Rumble match in a moment. But getting back to the point of the Royal Rumble here for the ladder match for the Undisputed WWE Championship, in this part, I'll never get the unexplained heel turn, the Bloodline angle and how that was set. Like the Bloodline angle, and after it was all kind of put together, they used it as a way to go ahead and set up storylines. That's how you reinvigorated Seth Rollins, CM Punk. So you set that up. And the Sami Zayn stuff to kind of get him embedded in shit. That's how they used the Survivor Series angle for that, for the Bloodline, right? I mean, who asked anything about Sami Zayn, but nevertheless. But that's the thing I just don't care about, is that, okay, they kind of repaired the storyline halfway through the feud, but it still wasn't great. I still wasn't happy about it. We're talking about what? A feud that goes back to what, last July or August, whatever it was? I get August, right? And yeah, I don't feel like it really got too much satisfaction, but hey, well, the feud happened. It's done. I don't know what you do with Kevin Owens next and what's his involvement, but they're going to keep him off TV, I guess, for a while because he's got to sell that injury. Now, who didn't sell an injury going into the men's Royal Rumble match? Why is Braun Strowman coming back after 1 week of being beat down by Jacob Fatu in strong fashion, and he gets to go ahead and take out Jacob Fatu in the match? No question. I don't understand what that's all. But the men's Royal Rumble match, 80 minutes for that. So Penta and Rey Mysterio to start. Hey, I get it. Symbolic. Everybody wants to make a big deal about that, but listen, I don't think if I remember, I mean, Penta and Rey, I think have been in the ring together. And Lucha and AAA, I think, was when Rey was out. He was not with the company for a while. I want to see that Rey and Penta actually faced each other in AAA. I would have said they crossed paths. Like sometime after Penta left Lucha Underground, I gotta think those guys have faced each other. Must be with them. Actually, no, I just corrected myself. I looked on Gemini. They did face each other on Lucha Underground. That's right. And they have worked in other promotions, so I think AAA, they definitely also worked as well. So there we go. That's what happened. But we haven't seen them in a long time together in the ring. Penta did get a long run in the match itself, which is cool. They haven't given up on putting him out there for too long, so they decided to go, hey, here we go. We're going to put him in there after all. And then we get down the line to I Show Speed. So replaces Azura Takawa. there's something to be said about what really will stand out and what will hold up well for the Royal Rumble, because this was an experiment tonight, a social experiment, by having Kai Cenat and IShowSpeed appear at the show, and they were both live streaming. Now, I will say this, at least to me, I believe that IShowSpeed probably did the best job of using the platform and really getting out there and doing things for tonight. Because for me, Kai Cenat needs the closet studio. He needs like the room he does his show. That's really will excel at and be able to go ahead and interact with the audience. But if he's kind of like alone to his own thing, it doesn't work so much. And that's the part I just don't think will work out for him. Because one thing I will tell you about Speed is that he doesn't mind getting himself caught in shit when it comes to, he's a stunt guy at the end of the day. Like tonight, I bet you didn't know this, but if you look for him online, he took a whip of the braid from Bianca Belair. Who's the last person that did that? But here's what happened.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh, shit. Damn, what's in there? God damn.
See, IShowSpeed just better. He just has more charisma. But the thing is, he actually just takes pain, which is funny. And even what he's doing out here, like the guy just like is just reckless abandon. It's pretty funny doing that. And then he has like fun with John Cena, which is pretty cool. Here's a clip from that.
Yeah. John Cena. John Cena, where's he at?
I have no idea. I haven't seen him.
Bro, what is he?
It's funny stuff. And John Cena sitting right there. That's pretty cool.
Where is he at?
And then you have the Miz and Speed interacting, which is pretty cool.
If y'all really fans of me, who is my favorite wrestler?
It better be the Miz. It better be the Miz. That is who your favorite wrestler is. Am I correct? Who else could it be?
Miz.
What, Logan Paul? Is that your favorite wrestler, Logan Paul?
No.
Who is it then? Oh, you're going to go like, Cody Rhodes. Oh, I love it when he smiles.
It's Rey Mysterio.
Okay. All right, you got me then. I was going to...
See, look, you thought I was a Cody Rhodes. Oh, bro, no. It's not that.
Guys, but then you go with the Rey...
But that's actually pretty good where he was with that. Now, him and Miz have a good thing going on, which is good. Then he confronts Dominic Mysterio, confronts Kofi and Xavier. New Day's out there. By the way, New Day, not involved at all. Interesting. Speed out there with Logan Paul. There's a lot of interaction with them. Like with Speed, there's a lot more shit going on because he's behind the scenes backstage and all the stuff going on. So like he's out there. And then they do the gimmick where Triple H calls him out to go and be in the Rumble match. And here we go. You see it on the stream. This is what's important. Okay. What WWE did right here in this social experiment, I think needs to be examined because I want to know if that's going to lead the audience to really pick up on this. So let's go and see what happens right here. Here we go.
What?
Speed.
What?
You're in the Rumble. Go.
What you mean?
Are you serious? Speed. You're in the Rumble.
Hell no.
Go.
Hell no.
No.
I'm not ready.
Go.
What you mean?
Go. Throw people on the top rope.
What the hell?
And the crowd got hot for Speed. Pretty good. And here he goes. Here's the highlight from the actual broadcast. IShowSpeed got a great pop.
He's in the Rumble! Somebody get the man some knee pads, some elbow pads, a crash helmet. Hey, he appeared at us.
But let me tell you, what an amazing moment to see him. First of all, he does the thing where he kind of gives a Ray Lewis kind of a gimmick where he's like, the stance, but then he does the backflip and then the spear. Like this right here was amazing. Let's go and hear this one more time. This is Braun Breaker spearing the fuck out of IShowSpeed.
Marking in the ring. Come on. Hell yeah, IShowSpeed. Pretty impressive. Standing backflip. Oh my God. Breaker just about broke IShowSpeed in half.
That was legit. I mean, Braun Breaker legitimately was the stiffest spear you could figure it out. There was nothing held back on that. That looked like it hurt. And the impact that Speed took to the down to the mat, I don't think he tucked his head. He just took it flat out. I mean, just one more time. Got to hear that again. That thud was incredible.
Hell yeah, I show Speed.
God was hot for him. Real hot.
Backflip. Oh my God! Breaker just about broke I show Speed in half.
Oof, that looked good. And then you get the throw out where he gets thrown to Otis and he gets thrown out. Here's that part.
With Speed into Otis. Speed still in the match. He hasn't been. Well, now he's eliminated now.
He took serious hurt, man. I don't think. And plus, there was like a part of his leg that got like carved off or something like that. It was something crazy. And this is him reacting after he gets out of the match, and he's just trying to collect himself. He's holding his chest, his ribs, after getting the spear. He's around the timekeeper, Alicia Taylor. And then he gets escorted over to a cart, and then he says this.
Let me tell you, I'm never coming to WWE again. I'm never coming here again. Green apples, nigga.
This is great. But the spear was incredible. And then Logan Paul talks to him about like how bad he got hurt.
Are you good? Are you actually good?
He seriously got hurt. And then here's Kai Cenat, who was about the only time he actually really got anything involved. It looked like he had about 120,000 people that were following him live on the stream throughout the night. Even though I Show Speed had a lot more people that were watching. And I can see a lot of his clips getting a lot more push out of that as well. But here's Kai Cenat, by the way, responding to I Show Speed showing up.
Speed coming out. Speed coming out. Speed coming out.
And as I said, you look at all this here, and the stream got well over 1 million views as he was out there. So everything worked out with that. I Show Speed, his relationship with Logan Paul, when they know each other. Last year, I Show Speed was in the prime bottle when he got hit, and the match, Logan Paul being in that match, right? And it was getting involved. I mean, it worked out. I mean, that was one thing that you got to look at, that at least we see here that I do like how they kind of set it up. Like, that's one of the things I think was very innovative and unique for them, was how they did use the influencers. Because I wonder if that's going to make any difference for them, for the Netflix crowd and all the others that they're going to have, and see if it's going to work out for them better. So I want to be optimistic about that part. They're not doing anything in terms of trying to build up the talent to get to the point. They don't have trust in building the talent up to a certain level so they can push forward. They don't have that. But what they are going to try to do is they are going to try to build a younger audience by using, fans on the streams that are out there that, have made their bones doing gaming or doing other gimmicks and things just to give themselves a large audience. And so they're going to go with that to try to go ahead and build more people to watch. But that's the one thing I thought was very important to tell you about the match itself. Otherwise, the Rumble match itself, you got Joe Henry coming out as TNA champion, was in there for a cup of coffee. He's out. He did get a genuine pop, which I was happy to see that. You did see a confrontation with Reigns and Fatu. That was good. They gave us something right there. No Solo Sikoa at all. And I don't understand where with Jacob Fatu, okay, I love his promos right now. I like he's being let go. Like he's off the leash, he said. We got to bring that clip up. I got to actually play that real quick about why he said that, because I'm a little bit befuddled by that. I'd like to go and see Jacob Fatu actually be a part. I don't like the fact that he's not, where the Solo Sikoa storyline is not going to be resolved, because you would think that that bloodline portion, that bloodline will still be part of this, but for whatever reason, you see Jacob Fatu coming out with Tama Tonga, but then like, what's going on here? Why are we kind of like left out of this? I don't understand that part. And I'm a bit concerned about that. After tonight, I don't understand what the idea is right now with Jacob Fatu. At this point, you could put him against any prominent opponents. Why they want to go ahead and continue with him and Braun Strowman, I don't know. I don't think it makes a difference to go ahead and expand on a storyline or a program with Braun Strowman doesn't make any sense. But then they had him out there with Damian Priest. So there you have that. But that's otherwise, there's nothing else. Like, I just don't understand what they're doing with him in the first place. I just don't. At the end of the match, obviously you had a lot of people that were coming in. So the buildup of a big stack of stars that obviously you can see how much they have right now on the roster. Because after Braun Strowman in the setup, you get John Cena coming in, who takes out Braun Strowman. Then CM Punk. Then Seth Rollins. And then right there just alone, just those three come into play, and it's like important. And by the way, Drew McIntyre also came in earlier. So you had those stars right there in the ring, and a lot of prominence because of how big the main event picture is for those four stars. Cena, Punk, Rollins, McIntyre, all into this match. The same thing comes in after that. But at the end of the day, you get a lot of clean out of this match to where John Cena is, you get Logan Paul also coming in, but then you're all left to Jey Uso, who survives and makes his way to the last two, being with John Cena. But what they decided to go and do was John Cena loses in a fluke. So it wasn't like Jey Uso did anything special to go and win. He just was crafty on getting out of the AA. That was it. All that happened. But John Cena gets screwed out of this last Royal Rumble, will not get a chance at the title, and that's it. There's a story that's going to go along with that. And by the way, the way he looked when he had that happen also is going to be important to go and tell. So they're going to have a story to tell with John Cena going forward. And as for Jey Uso, somebody was actually putting out on X, and I was looking, and I was like, it's true. Think about WrestleMania last year for Jey Uso. He had to face Jimmy on night one in a match that nobody remembers. It was just bad. It was just shame for those two based on what they've already done together. In the Bloodline, I have those two kind of face each other in a match that really didn't mean nothing. It was just lost in the whole thing of the rest of the night, where you had the Bloodline with Rock and Roman Reigns facing each other later on the night with Rhodes and Rollins. Like, that was, Jimmy and Jay were just lost in the middle of that mid card. Nobody even cared. And now all of a sudden, Jey Uso has not won. He had the IC title for a cup of coffee. And now he comes here. He already lost to Gunther once. He's going to get another match, probably against Gunther again. So it's like the same kind of booking Vince would put somebody through, right? Where somebody continues to lose, and then all of a sudden they fluke win, and they win a title off of that. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's what they decided to go and do. All right, so they're going to plan on that. That's their plan. They're going to stick with it. Fine, but that's what they're going to do. But all that it comes down to now is it's still going to be, the negatives that are going to still stand out is that WrestleMania season is still going to be with the same kind of talent we've had at the top already. When you look at WrestleMania season last year, you had a number of stars who were kind of like in Triple H's wheel well with former NXT stars who are on the come up, because you had A-Town Down Under, you had Judgment Day, you had DIY, you had New Catch Republic, all in a tag team match, that ladder match they had there at WrestleMania. Then you had the tag match with LWO and Legado del Fantasma. Remember that feud right there. Damage Control and Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Naomi last year. And then night 2, you get Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, with Damian Priest cashing in. You had Final Testament against the Pride, remember? LA Knight, AJ Styles, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton, by the way. Bayley, Io Sky, Cody, and Roman. When you look at the setup right now for what they're going to plan on next year, because remember, there's just a number of names that are just not part of this. There's a number of these NXT stars, or some of these stars that Triple H has really tried to put a lot of capital into, that have not worked out, and they're not. I mean, I don't know. When I look at some of the names that were brought in here, we can think a lot about the women's roster, but I'm not going to go into that. But Think about it. Okay, Carmelo Hayes, Santos Escobar, early on in the list. Then Andrade's put in there at 11. It's just kind of as a filler, just put in a spot. Now, by the way, Carmelo Hayes, Santos Escobar, Andrade, no eliminations whatsoever. Fatu does get eliminations. He gets a spot in there. I just don't like where Braun Strowman's the one that's going to take him out. Penta, being pushed in there pretty well, stays in there for quite a while. And then that's it. Like everybody else is like tried and true. I mean, Joe Henry was in there quickly in and out. But he was the only anybody because that's kind of honoring the new partnership that they have. But that's all there was to it. Everybody else is tried and true. They would have been stars already when Vince McMahon was still around. That's who they're sticking with. So the fact that Triple H would not rely on anyone outside of the normal expected names of the roster, the ones that have been always there, that are committed, that have good storylines, that have good gimmicks, that have larger-than-life characters. He's sticking with the tried and true Vince McMahon made stars. He's not going to try to take a risk on his own. Braun Breaker was in there for a while, but again, him, Jacob Fatu, Ludwig Kaiser, nothing. They were kind of left out. And think about all these other stars that could have been a part of this too, that were not on this roster. Like you could have made the Royal Rumble match tonight for the men 40 men, because you got a lot of stars back there that you think that Triple H would also want to be getting them involved, but they're not. Because they're going to be out of the picture. Imagine what stars we're going to have that are not going to be part of WrestleMania season that you've been seeing quite a bit of. Well, this is a change. So if you're thinking that, oh, these other stars, they should have a chance, they deserve to have a chance, participation, no. When it still comes to business at WrestleMania time, they're going to stick with who they're going to stick with. That's it. I notice it. It's Vince's vision over Triple H's pet projects. And Triple H is doing what's best for business. You might not like it. For the juvenile, delusional, toxic wrestling fandom out there, you don't like hearing that. But that's just the way it is. There is no choice. In WrestleMania season, you got to know who's going to be bona fide. You got to sell out Vegas. That shouldn't be hard. I mean, you should be able to go and sell out Allegiant Stadium for 2 nights. Vegas in April, that should be a no-brainer. Because even if it's just like not a great show, Vegas should be sellouts both nights. There shouldn't be a question of that. But you got to give these people something good. This got to be a good night. Don't know what you're going to do with that, but, you know, what they started so far, there's some makings of things we can look at right away. Okay, it'll be Gunther Jey Uso. Let's just say Charlotte Flair, Timothy Stratton. Let's say CM Punk, Seth Rollins. Let's go with that. We don't know who Roman Reigns is going to take on. We don't know who John Cena is going to take on. And there'll be a lot of other stars that are still looking at their spot. Like Logan Paul's going to have his match. Like, where are you going to fit all these other people in for WrestleMania? Some of Triple H's favorites that he's brought on, they probably won't get a spot. And I wonder how the fandom's going to feel about that. The real vocal minority on social media, how they're going to feel. I don't know, man. I don't want to feel good about it. So we're going to do it like this. We're going to head out of here and come back this Wednesday for the Wrestling Gets Real podcast, because wrestling needs us.